welcome. My name is Sammy George. Okay, so I wanted to jump on really quick. This is totally spontaneous, but after the last couple videos that I have done, I've been getting a lot of questions about discoloration. So I'm an independent makeup artist with Seint Beauty. If you've been around my channel for a while, I'm happy you're here. Okay, if you guys like lives and you catch this on the replay, let me know. We can do this more often, but I figured I'm gonna show you like in real time, ask questions if you have them, how I cover my discoloration to get my makeup with Seint to last all day. Because when I was first using the makeup, I was really struggling with my discoloration like popping through. It literally felt like my makeup didn't last throughout the day. It looked good right after I did it. So I had to do a little bit of research. I had to get on YouTube myself and learn some stuff. A year and a half later, I became an artist, and here we are. I've been doing this now for a year and a half, so I've been wearing the makeup for 3 years, and I've learned a ton. So on this side of my face, well, on my whole face, I already did my makeup today. And then I checked my email and had several more emails asking about why does my makeup not last? I found you on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, let's just jump on. And again, we're going live today for the first time, but if you like lives, let me know and maybe we can schedule them out and do it more often. So I wiped the makeup off this side of my face, and as you guys will see, I have the darkness under my eyes, I have rosacea, I have hyperpigmentation, sunspots, acne, and acne scarring. This is what it looked like after the fact when I did a very light hand of makeup. So this is probably like light, barely even medium coverage. And we're just gonna recreate it over here and I'm gonna walk you through. So this is my Seint One Compact Makeup. This is literally so spontaneous that I've pulled it apart from the content that I was filming earlier today. But here's what I want you to see. Your makeup is comprised of highlights and a contour. So this is what makes up your makeup palette. For me, and for most of the clients that I work with, because the women that find me typically have some form of discoloration in their skin, they're gonna get a color corrector, a main foundation shade, a contour, and a brightener, which is just what you would call concealer in traditional makeup land. So here's the concept that's different from the way that you see Seint applied a lot online. Instead of doing everything in one layer, which is awesome, okay? As we age, we want as few layers as possible. But when you have this form of discoloration, if you are wearing Seint right now, and in order to get any coverage, you have to put a ton of your main foundation shade on because this is popping through. And when you put a lot on, it starts to feel cakey, it starts to feel tacky. This is the key. You want to incorporate a color corrector, and you'll see this tin right here is not the color of my skin. Like, I am not this orange, but Seint uses color science. So like the magic of the makeup is that it's highly pigmented. You only use a little bit. And when you put the right colors where they need to go, even if you layer in thin layers, which is how I get really good coverage, it's going to look like your skin, but better. And oftentimes this color, you're gonna see it online and you're gonna be like, this chick is literally crazy. I could never wear that. But the point of this color is to match the deepest and darkest points of your skin. And here's a little thing to know. While this looks like redness and these fresh acne spots look red, below red on our skin is often blue and purple. So when we're talking color science, what is the opposite of blue and purple on the color wheel? It's actually orange and yellow. So oftentimes you're gonna get recommended by me a color corrector that looks a little bit orange for you. It might be amber, it might be mango, it might be papaya. And if you're looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, just trust the process. If you follow this like thin layer system, you're gonna love your makeup so much more because as we age, we get what I would consider like overtones. So when you're younger, like all your face kind of looks like this, right? So you just match whatever is closest to your natural skin tone. You tend to go either like yellow, pink, or white, and you're good to go. Well, as we age, we now have these additional colors oftentimes that pop through just from sun damage and things like that. So what you need to do is zap out that discoloration with a color corrector first, and then you can go into your traditional Seint 3D foundation, and I'm gonna show you how. I didn't even pull out like all the brushes over here, like talk about spontaneous. Okay, if you have acne or acne scarring, I love the spot brush because it has this teeny tiny tip on it. So I start with the darkest points of my face first when I'm applying. That's how your color match will read from me. And I go into my color corrector. So I'm gonna go to that acne and acne scarring, and I'm gonna take just a tiny amount on here, and I am going to pinpoint where you see this discoloration on the face. Once we get rid of the overtones, that deep redness, anything that looks like a color concern, then see how we just like zap that out? Then we can go in and apply our traditional makeup, and we'll apply it a teeny bit different than you see online just to make sure that we continue to get good coverage. But the key to all of this is taking care of the excess color that you see first. And we can build it up into thin layers until we're happy with the coverage level. So I'm just gonna do these couple of acne and acne scars that are bothersome to me right now. And like I have freckles in here too. So when when you talk about adding some fun into the mix, I don't typically cover my freckles, total personal preference, but like this is a scar here. Acne scarring, you guys, is really blue. So if you're using Demi, you're looking at the orange colors. If you're like, what's Demi? Demi is our color corrector system. So this is a scar. But the same concept works with your 3D foundation. So if you weren't matched to a color corrector and you have this discoloration on your skin, literally it could be as simple as getting you a color corrector. We might have to tweak your main shade a little bit, because the way that I match you is, say you fill out my color match form and it's like, do you want to match your neck? Do you want to match your chest? Do you want your face to be lighter or darker? So what I do is I take into account what color corrector you need, and what color corrector plus your main shade is going to give you the finish and the look that you want and match what you want. So really quickly, that's good for me for my acne and acne scarring. I'm gonna then go to my blush and bronzer brush, which I think is dirty. So let me wipe it off real quick. And now we're gonna start color correcting the redness that you see in like larger areas. And if you have like the detail brush or the blend brush, you can use the smaller end around the eyes, and I'll show you that. But if you have a lot of discoloration, grab something like the blush and bronzer brush. And now I'm just going to tap a little bit in, like just a little bit. And it's not even like even on the brush, that's okay. And go ahead and swirl that, these little circles. And if you guys have questions, just let me know, onto where you see the redness. Now what this is gonna do is it's gonna match those deepest, darkest points, and it's gonna start to tone down the discoloration, but it makes my face look warm, okay? Because I'm adding a warm color to my skin. That's where the combination of your color corrector and your main shade comes into account. And you can just build this up to whatever level of coverage that you want, and you'll get used to applying it a little bit differently. So that is good for me for the redness that I have right here. I'm gonna go into the blend brush, the detail brush, and now I'm gonna take care of the darkness that I have under my eye. So right here, I have that blue and purple. Again, it's a color issue. I'm using my color corrector. Now you see these sunspots? I'm gonna go ahead and press on to those sunspots where I want a little bit more coverage. And now we've already like mitigated so much of that. All we're gonna have to do is apply our main highlight shade. I have some broken capillaries here, a little bit of redness on the nose, and a scar here. So those are my color concerns. And we're just gonna do a light hand of makeup today. So once I'm done with color corrector, now I go back to my blush and bronzer brush, and I'm gonna go into my main highlight shade. And I'm gonna get a little bit on there, okay? And now we're gonna press. We're no longer gonna do these swirls or sweep because we were strategic about where we put our color corrector. So now I'm just going to press this on in this stippling motion. Tap, tap, tap. Ready? Tap in, tap on. Don't do this in your makeup. You're gonna get way too much on the brush, and it's gonna start to look, it's gonna be cakey right from the beginning, but it's also not gonna distribute evenly. So I'm putting my main foundation shade everywhere that I color corrected. It's the combination of my color corrector and my main shade that matches my neck, which is how I prefer to wear my makeup. Like I said, I will color match you to the way you prefer to wear your makeup. We'll do a little bit in the center here. Main foundation right here. It's called your main highlight shade. All of your highlights and contour give coverage. So if you don't have discoloration on the skin in an area that you're gonna contour, you don't have to put anything underneath it. I have redness in here. A lot of people do. Like this mask area tends to be a place as we age where people get red. If you find that your contour is pulling you red, it could very well be because either your contour itself is too warm. All contours are ashy, but some are warmer and some are cooler. So if you have redness, you definitely want to go to a cooler contour. But you also want to color correct first. Take care of the redness, put your main shade on, and then you can contour over top. Like I have redness in my chin. So let's color correct that. And go back to my blush and bronzer brush. Absolute favorite. If I was gonna recommend 2 brushes to a starter, it would be the detail brush and the blush and bronzer brush. If you have acne, I would also add the spot brush. These are by far the easiest tools to use to get multiple coverage levels. Like you can go from completely natural all the way up to like a medium coverage look. You can build it up all the way to full coverage if you want. And you only need these 2 brushes, 4 ends, 2 brushes. It's gonna do all the things. It's very hard to get into the under eye area with just 1 brush, especially if you're trying to jab this in here. And while a lot of people use the 3D brush, this is the video I just did, this brush, it looks like it fits in here, but really it's too big and it's too dense and it's gonna make your under eyes look really cakey, and literally nobody wants that. So let's see, any more coverage that I wanna press on? Maybe a little bit right here. And remember, if you guys like lives, let me know. We can do them more often. I'm live on Instagram and Facebook all the time. If you prefer that I come hang out over here on YouTube, well, we could do that too. Now I avoided the majority of my under eye with that big brush. So I'm gonna go to the small side of my detail brush. And remember, I color corrected here, so I have to put a little bit of my main shade on top. The layers are so thin that we're getting not only good coverage, but it's not cakey or heavy because we're not digging in and then like swiping it on like you see oftentimes online. So now I'm looking at this sunspot here and I'm pressing on a little bit more coverage right there. And that's it. That is our color corrector. That's our main shade. We can move right on to contour. Best contour brush literally is the detail brush. It has this perfect knife edge. So you wanna hold it and press it in sideways with a little bit of pressure so that you get product on half the brush, and start at the top of your ear, work to the outer corner of your eye, but go right on that cheekbone. You'll be able to identify your cheekbone because it's where it starts to like pop down. Wherever you put the product first is where it's gonna distribute the most. So start at the back of your ear versus starting up by your eye, because if you put it here and work back, it's darkest right here. And then what people do is they blend like this. And that does a couple things. One, it drags your face down. And the purpose of contour is to pick your face up. It's kind of like Spanx for the face. But also, not only does it drag it down, it starts to make it look muddy. And if you over blend, it's gonna be gone. And you did all that for nothing. So start at the top of your ear. And I like to, like, even if I pull my hairline back a little bit, just so that you don't see like where my makeup starts and stops. And now I'm just gonna follow my cheekbone and I'm just tapping the side that had product on it. It starts to diffuse. Now I can see it, and since there's nothing on the top of my bristles, I'm gonna flick up. So now we have a sharp contrast, a sharp contour line, but it's really subtle. And if you ever get too low, like go to that end right there. This is my main highlight shade, and I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. Creams blend. So literally, like there are no mistakes with cream makeup because you could blend it away if you wanted to. As a matter of fact, some people's biggest problem is they can't see their shades because they're over blending. If you wanna build it up, go ahead and just add a little bit more. Cream is buildable, so you can get whatever coverage level, both with your foundation and your contour that you like. Now, I'm just gonna tap the full brush in. Your contour is a little bit drier. It's meant to be because we want the placement to be a little bit more specific. And now let's go up to the forehead. Now remember, I didn't put anything else around the perimeter, so doing this little bit of like a sweeping motion is fine because I'm not moving anything underneath. There's nothing underneath. If you color correct in this area, put your main shade on top of it, then again, only stipple. So we're coming around the top of the forehead, and now I'm gonna pull this up into my hairline. If you're like me and you're starting to get a receding hairline since you've had children, you can go ahead and pull that up so that now like it kind of fades real nice. If you have a mature face, don't contour in this area. The purpose of contour is to sculpt the face. Darkness recedes, it pulls back. Light comes forward, and we want people to look at the center of our face, to look directly at our eyes. So this is gonna pull back. If you're hollowing right here, meaning like it's starting to look a little bit sunken, which naturally happens with age. If you put contour here, if darkness recedes, it's gonna make that look even more hollow. So we don't want that. So I stop like right at my eyebrow. And now all I'm gonna do to make sure that this edge is blurred is I'm gonna tap on it. Tap, tap, tap. I'm not going really excessive with this because then I'm just gonna end up blending it away. So there we go. Forehead is contoured. I have my cheekbone contoured. None of my redness is coming through. It has that ashy shadow effect because I color corrected my redness first. And now I'm gonna do the same thing underneath my jawline. So you start behind your ear and go ahead and pull down your jawline. We don't have any other makeup down here, so this pulling motion is fine. And drag it down the neck so you don't have any lines showing through. And in this little divot that you have here, we all have that because we don't get sun right underneath. You can put a little bit there and pull it down. And then we could nose contour if we wanted to. We'll just keep on rocking today. So we did color corrector, our main foundation shade, which is called your main highlight, our contour, and now let's move on to our brightener. So remember how I was just talking about how like that redness kind of serves as an overtone, like it's that excess color of skin? Well, your brightener is your undertone. It's what color is the lightest color on your face. And when I'm color matching you, that's how I choose your brightener. Your main shade is the closest to your skin tone. Your color corrector is the depth that you need to get rid of that redness. Or even if you have hyperpigmentation, vitiligo, there's a color corrector in here for you. And now I'm gonna look at your undertones to make sure that everything matches. Like, is she cool? Is she warm? Is it white, yellow, or pink? My undertones are traditionally white. I have been using Palace quite a bit since it came out, and you'll see that it's pink. And the reason why is pink on the color wheel zaps out like blue. It's across from one another and does a really good job. Like those salmony oranges do a really good job of zapping out blue. And while I usually use white peach, so my colors right now are mango, that's my color corrector, sandy, that's my main shade, and typically white peach. I'm going for something a little bit more subtle and something that in this area will take care of any additional blue or purple that's popping through. And because I have mature skin, because I have this wrinkling, I have milia in this area, I don't want to emphasize any of that texture. That's why you need to color correct first, get rid of the darkness, because if not, you're going to put a ton of your brightener on there. And when you put light on dark, it's not going to last. And also, the lighter, the more your texture shows. So I actually go first underneath. So I'm starting here and I'm going underneath that eye pocket, right on the side of the nose here. And I'm just going to go as low as I want, kind of depending on how you feel about your pores. So a lot of people feel like they have really large pores in this area. I would just stop short of where you feel like your pores get really large if that's something that bothers you. It doesn't bother me all that much. But remember, light reflects texture. So if you have texture in that area, just kind of stop short. And I'm just tapping, and now I'm going to the outside corner of my eye. This is also a textured area for me. So if I had any sort of discoloration, I would want to color correct there first. And now, whatever's left on the brush, now I'm gonna go underneath the eye and kind of just marry all of this together. We're also gonna use our perfector sponge to make sure there's no excess. Don't skip the perfector. It's not like every other beauty blender on the market. It's actually meant to remove excess as opposed to apply liquid. So when there are things that you don't want to skip with Seint, you want to make sure you get the brushes, get the tools. It's like painting your house and not having the right tools. You invest in the color, but you don't invest in the application method, and you're just not going to be happy. Powder brushes will not work for sure. It just lends to picking up product in the wrong way, and then it looks like you have brush strokes on your face. So I'm going up. Remember how I said this area, I want it to pop out. If dark recedes, then light comes forward. Then I can pop this area out a little bit with my brightener. All right, I'm gonna take a look and see, is there anywhere else that I want more coverage before I use my perfector? We're just doing light hand, I feel pretty good about that. Typically you can brighten, and I already did this earlier when I put on the rest of my makeup, but I'll show you. In the T-zone, center of the forehead, down the nose, top of the cupids. Okay, I don't know what happened. Hopefully you're still here. Oh my gosh. Okay, the word says we're live again. I don't even know, sometimes technology. All right, so I put my brightener down the center of the face, and we'll blend all this in. It's in the inner and outer corner of the eye, and then I used whatever was left to cover this highly textured area. And now we're gonna remove excess. You wanna prep your perfector. Run it under cold water. That's when I like to wash it. So after I use it, I just like throw all my stuff to the side. But I do wash it with like an over-the-counter, like a drugstore gentle cleanser. Put it under cold water, squeeze out all the excess, and then put it in a microfiber cloth while you're doing the rest of your makeup. Squeeze tight. You want this to be cool and damp. You do not want it to be wet. and it pretty much does nothing when it's dry. If it's wet, like if you could get water out of this, it's gonna pull your makeup off. All we wanna do is pounce it and make sure that it blends any lines. So also remember how I said there's no mistakes with cream makeup? If I pounce this enough, like onto my contour, I could pounce it away. So don't be worried that your contour feels too dark or anything like that. It will, one, it's gonna kind of settle. I say the makeup is 80% done by you and like 20% by the warmth of your face. There's a reason why people say they like their makeup more as the day goes on. Like something magical just happens as it starts to warm up on the face and the colors start to like meld together like they're supposed to. But you want to pop this over anywhere that you want to make sure that nothing is heavy, everything is blended. And then I go specifically to the areas where I'm prone to creasing. I have strong marionette lines. So let's make sure we get all the excess out of there. And obviously my under eye. Anywhere that you layered, you want to make sure that you use your perfector to get rid of any like excess product. Like you can see it's getting rid of the excess that's here, and we can go back in afterwards if we feel like we need anything more. So the only area that I think is bothersome to me is my sunspot. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my color corrector, press it back on, a little bit of my main shade, and just make sure that I'm happy with my coverage. You wanna do the perfector step after you do your 3D foundation component, which is main highlight, color corrector, main highlight, contour, and brightener. Once you get into lip and cheeks and bronzer and illuminator, those are all sheer. They don't provide any coverage. And because they're so sheer, if you put your perfector over top, you're gonna pull a lot of it off. So next, I'm a bronzer girl. I like to mix bronzer with glow illuminator. So bronzer adds warmth to the skin. So let me show you. See how your bronzer is warm? That is to add like life, like that sun-kissed glow into the skin. It differs from your contour because one, your contour gives coverage. There are different formulations, so you can see this one is sheer, but this one is ashy. It's cooler. It's meant to be shadow. It's not meant to add warmth. I like to mix my bronzer because you'll see this is Bella bronzer. It does not have any glow to it because not everybody likes glow in their bronzer. But if you like illumination, like a little bit of a sheen, then you could grab something like Glow Illuminator, and I just mix them together. So I like to take mine, you can see mine's almost gone, it's well loved, and I take the bronzer end of the blush and bronzer brush, and this I swirl together. Remember, everything else we're just tapping. This one I swirl together. It's gonna stay on the top of your brushes, on the top of your bristles. These are synthetic bristles. It is important, again, to make sure you're using the right kind of brush. And now I'm just gonna press it where the sun would naturally give me a suntan, which is what they call the high points of the face. So kind of where your face sticks out. Like right here, your contour's here, your bronzer's here, your contour's here, hug that contour line, and then you can go across the nose if you like, the chin, and the other place that I go is down my neck. And this is something that you would want to do, well, one, if you want to, but also if you feel like your face is a little bit darker than your neck, just pull a little bronzer down the neck and then everything's going to match. If you feel like your face is, if you feel like your face is darker than your neck, yes. If you feel like your face needs to be lighter, okay, you can add a little bit of your brightener to your jawline. So your brightener, that last one, if you wanted to, you could add this to the jawline just to lighten up your jawline a little bit. If you wanted to make this more seamless and your neck felt light and you were like, I don't want to put bronzer down my neck, you want to match your face to your neck, you could do your brightener. Based on how you tell me you like to wear your makeup, I'm going to darken this up again with a little bit of my bronzer so I match. But based on how you tell me how you like to wear your makeup, on your color match, you will submit a makeup-free selfie to me. I'm facing a window right now, so you're gonna face a window with no makeup on and take that picture. I will draw on your face specifically where your color corrector goes. But the whole reason that I like to teach the way that I do is like, I don't know about you, but if you have discoloration, it changes. So you could look at the face map that you send me that I draw on every day, and it could be slightly different. So the concepts transfer. Wherever you have that discoloration, dark under eyes, acne, whatever that color concern is, that's where your color corrector is gonna go. And then I'll show you where to put your brightener based on like how you like to wear your makeup, how you wanna match your face. Everything else kind of stays the same. So there we have our bronzer. And now let's do a little lip and cheek. I wanna show you guys. Okay, did I pull it out? Have you guys seen all of the like the glow sticks, like the what is it? Like the Elf Glow something or other, and then Charlotte Tilbury has, basically they're like the sponge blushes that you put on that have like illumination to them. You guys, with Seint, we have so many cream illuminators. This is rose gold. This is the one that like matches most closely to all of those like glowing products that you see with different brands. But we also have like 5 other cream illuminators. So we have, and these are even some of the limited edition ones that we have. You can mix like anything, including your main highlight if you wanted to get luminous skin or like a more luminous product. So watch this. I'm gonna take Madrid. This is a really popular shade. It's very universal, but let me show you. So Madrid is a matte, so it's considered a satin on our website. This is really similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, what is it called? Orgasmic something blush or something? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just ignore me, but you'll see how cute it is anyways. And then you can take your rose gold illuminator and you can mix the two, okay? So when you mix them together, you could do it on the back of your hand, and then you could apply it with your brush from the back of your hand. You have to use a little bit more product that way, and then put it on. Or if you're careful, because you don't want to like move everything around, okay? You could take, so you see these brands with this like the little sponge applicator tip, and they do like a couple of dabs. All you have to do is take your illuminator, dab it on top, and you can see the finish that it's already giving. And now we're just gonna do these little circular motions, and we're tapping up our contour line. And it's gonna give you that same glowing blush that you're getting with the products that you already have in your makeup. And like, it's so pretty. And here's how I like to apply my blush. I go 2 fingers out from the nose and smile. And then I hit the outside apple of the cheeks and I go up. And the reason I do that is that I want my blush to lift my face, but I don't want it to look weird. So if I'm looking forward and I don't put anything on the apples of my cheeks, it looks like I'm not wearing any blush. And then I turn to the side, and then all of a sudden I have just this blush here. I think the best way, because we're mobile people and we're always moving our faces around, is to at least hit the outside apple of your cheek. If you want a fuller cheek, go right here. If not, go like right here. And then you can pull it up as far as you like. So you'll get both lift and a little bit of volume, but you'll be able to see it from all of these different angles. And like, that's it. That's how you can incorporate your illuminator with a lip and cheek. And then, I mean, you can use them on the lips and they just look so pretty. All dual purpose, like always. Okay, friends, that's it. Look at the difference. Like, rock on, right? And if you are somebody who likes to set your makeup, 2 different ways, okay? You can take your setting spray. This is our Seint setting spray. It comes in a bottle like this, but gray. I broke mine. But I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm kind of glad I broke mine, because if you've ever used the Seint setting spray, the spray is like, pow, like zaps you in the face. So 1, hold it far away and push all the way down. It'll mist more as you push down. So you gotta go all the way in and like push down, and then it'll mist a little bit more. This is just a bottle I found off of Amazon that I really like, where it mists more from the beginning, so it doesn't like zap you as much. The other product that I really like is from Unique. It's the Touch Behold. This is very misting. They both do a really great job setting. So if you set with setting spray, you're gonna get a little bit more of a dewy finish. It's gonna help hold your makeup in throughout the day. If you are concerned about fine lines under your eyes, marionette lines, or you don't like a dewy finish, or you like a little combo, go into your Vanilla Dust setting powder. It fits right into your palette, and either grab the powder brush, or if you have like one of those little poofs, oh gosh, one of the little poofs from Amazon. First thing you wanna do, make sure that nothing is sitting in your fine lines and wrinkles. Cream doesn't dry down, so anytime throughout the day, if you get any creasing, the warmth of your finger will it'll just get rid of all that, okay? Make sure I have no creasing here. And now I'm gonna press 1 time here, and I'm gonna use that under the entire under eye. And this is gonna help set that and remove a little bit. See how we've started to remove some of that glow? The other place, pores. If you're worried that your pores are looking too large, mattify them. See the difference? Marionette lines, one tap each time. Under the eye. Pores, if you feel like this is a area where you want to reduce the reflection. And now a lot of people, especially in the summer, like to do the T-zone because they get sweaty there. I am a sweaty girl, so you can go right there. And you'll see you have more reflection here and it's more mattified here. And that's it. That's everything. That is how you get rid of the discoloration in your skin. If you guys need help, my color match is in the description. I'm happy to help you. I also put my email in there, so if you have specific questions, keep shooting them over. And if there's something that you want to see, let me know. Ooh, this is Madrid, you guys. And I'll be happy to put together a video. Or if you tell me that you enjoy lives, then we'll do it on a live. Okay, friends, I hope you have a really great day. Bye.